Hello, everyone. We are here with Conversations with Rob. We have two special guests here on the program. We have Kayla Mccauley and Sarah Crabtree, the president and the vice president of the CCI STEP Club here at UCF. So, guys, thanks for coming on to the program today.
Thanks for having us.
All right, awesome. Thanks so much. So why don't you guys just tell us a little bit about yourself, where you're from, why you chose UCF, and also why you got into helping CCI and making the STEP program.
Goodness.
Okay. I know it's a big three questions in a row.
So many. So I'm from Ucf Cci, Florida, which is a little rural town in South Florida. Went to UCF because it was close to Disney World, and I like Disney World. That was the main reason I chose it, which sounds weird, but that's what I did. And then I got involved with STEP as a freshman, and I really wanted to be involved with raising an assistant star to change someone's life.
Great. Sarah?
I'm from Lake Mary, Florida, which is like less than 45 minutes from
Right
here.
up the street, yeah.
So it was more of a proximity thing for part of why I chose UCF. And then I also joined when I was a freshman, but I'm a year behind her for STEP. I was basically told by my mom that I needed to find things to get involved with my freshman year. So like the week before school started, I went onto the club's website that UCF has, and it was this and like one other thing that remotely interested me, and it just kind of stuck. And over time, I've gotten more involved, becoming a volunteer puppy raiser for Canine Companions.
All right, well, great job, and thanks. It's a great organization, obviously. So let's talk about the STEP organization. So you guys have been involved pretty much, I think, what, 3 years you've been involved? And
Since the beginning.
4, yeah, since the beginning. So can you just talk about what is STEP for the people that don't know what STEP is?
So STEP stands for Service Dog Training and Education Program. So our main goal is being affiliated with Canine Companions for Independence, which is a national nonprofit that provides fully trained assistance dogs to people with disabilities free of charge. So STEP's whole goal is basically just service dog etiquette, teaching the whole college campus about what service dogs can do, how you can get involved with the organization. And then our club's main focus is also to raise puppies for the organization.
All right, so with that being said, how many dogs have you guys both raised? And also, with that said, with how many dogs you've raised, what has been the positives and, I mean, it's a puppy, so they can't be really negatives, but what have been the, the struggles, I guess, of raising a puppy and the positives, of course?
So I've raised 2. So my first one graduated in May as a facility dog. So he's in Tennessee helping children and abuse victims. So, and then I'm with my second one now, Heston, and then he matriculates in August. And the best part is definitely when Alan graduated, my first puppy, because you get to meet the person he's going with and just kind of hear what he's going to do. So that's really heartwarming. And then said negatives, potty training's awful. Potty training's a definite,
I second that.
yeah, potty training's not that great. They bite everything, they chew everything. A lot of time management goes into it, especially as a college student, but it's a whole rewarding process in itself.
So what about you, Sarah? How many dogs have you raised? And did you also felt the same struggles as Kayla did?
So I'm actually finishing up my first dog, Navi. So she goes back to the organization in mid-February, and that same day I pick up my next dog.
Awesome.
So I'll be...
Have you found out what dog it is?
Yeah, her name is Ada.
Okay,
she'll be coming from Canine Companions prison program.
Oh, wow, great. So with that said, I mean, you talk about giving up. I mean, I know you say you haven't gave up the dog yet, but Kayla, you have given up a dog. Is that like kind of a traumatic experience because you raised the dog? It's almost like your child, like you.
Yeah.
I mean, I know you didn't conceive the child, but it's almost like, it's your child. You raised it. You made it, got it through potty training, taught it all these commands and things. So, I mean, how is that experience? I mean, it must be traumatic, but also, heartfelt that you meet somebody that it's going to help.
Yeah, so it's definitely an emotional roller coaster. The weeks leading up to it, you're kind of like, okay, it's not that bad. They're going to leave. Day before, you're like, oh, God, they're actually leaving. Day of, you're like, crap, they're leaving. And it's just tears kind of just overwhelm you. But at the same time, going into this, so the dog's eventually going to go back. Their whole goal is to change someone's lives. So that kind of got me through the whole process of like waiting afterwards. And then when you get that call that's like they've matched with someone, you're just crying again because you're just happy tears. So it's a definite roller coaster, and it definitely hurts because you're kind of like a piece of your heart has left, but you regain that peace when they find their forever person.
And I know you haven't went through this situation yet, Sarah, but have you thought about it? And how do you feel like you are going to take the situation?
something that I think has helped me throughout the process is, so one of the first things that I worked on with her was like making eye contact with me. And a lot of the time when we're interacting with the public, they'll say like, wow, she won't stop staring at you. And I've just kind of been reiterating, oh, it's just the food. Like, she only looks at me as her food person. Like, she doesn't care about me, even though I'm hoping she does. And I know that I care about her. I think just kind of, like, always reiterating that has helped me try and keep it more of a professional level than, like, a personal level with her. I've got 15 days left, and I've managed not to cry yet. So I'm pretty impressed. We'll see how that goes.
So what got you started in this? I know you said about the program with you, but what got you, I guess this is mainly for Kayla, what kind of got you started in Canine Companions? Like, how did you find out about the program as, you know, being with it from the start? Did you know the person that started it, or what was the process?
So it was basically our founder, Morgan. She had posted something on Facebook and like all of the class pages of UCF saying, there's this new club starting, you could have a puppy in your dorm, you could raise it. And I was like, I love dogs, I miss my dogs at home. I'm 3 hours away, I need something to kind of keep me involved. Sure. So I went to the first meeting, and Morgan was there. It was her first puppy, Robin. They had the puppy program manager at the time come and talk. And you just kind of learned about the organization. And I honestly just fell in love. I was like, I love animals, and being able to do something to give back to someone who truly needs it was something that I knew I needed to be a part of. And I'm grateful for the experience that I have so far, being that I'm a senior and being able to see this club kind of evolve into what it is now. We've got 14 puppies roaming campus, and it's, you could have never imagined from the beginning where it started with 1, went up to 3, then 6, and then 14. So it's really just an incredible process to see everyone kind of come together for one cause.
So this question is for both of you. What experience, you know, when you're raising the puppy, we hear some puppies in the background. What is the experience that, you know, as someone with a family member with a CCI dog, we can encounter situations where there's a lot of fake service dogs, and you can kind of tell with, you know, they bark at, you know, the CCI dogs, whereas the CCI dogs don't bark back. What's the kind of the situation? Have you, you know, ran into people that do crazy things to the dogs? Have you ran into these fake service dogs? What is kind of that situation where it's, you know, been really tough to, like, you know, go through, I guess?
I personally don't think I've seen somebody like advertising that their dog is a fake service dog, but I've just seen people bringing in pets that aren't even like pretending to wear a vest.
Fair enough. Yeah.
I know we've seen one like being pushed around in a stroller in a Bed Bath and Beyond, where it almost hopped out to come at her, and she was just kind of like ears perked, like, "What's going on? Like, why do you want to attack me? We're just out shopping."
Is that the kind of the toughest experience you've kind of had? Is just worrying about other people's dogs and pets kind of charging, or, you know, you never know. They could try to bite the dog.
And they might not, you know, they could have diseases and stuff, which we're very protective of these. They've got a lot of liability. And I know the biggest thing for me, though, we went out to Outback with my parents one night, and there was a woman that was eating by herself, but that had a dog in a stroller that was just open, and it was like a little Pomeranian or something. And so I left her with my parents, and I went to like walk over to the bathroom, and I kind of pretended. I was like, oh, like, what a cute dog, like, why is it here? And she basically just like acted like she was a regular, and that like Outback just let her in all the time. And so later I called Outback and tried to ask them, like, what's your policy on like letting pets into your restaurant? And they definitely had the wrong idea. They thought that emotional support was fine. They were basically just like a lot of businesses where they don't want to get in trouble, so they'd rather just let it happen. And just, it becomes more real when you witness something like that.
Have you encountered any kind of crazy situation?
Yes.
Let's hear about it.
I had taken Heston to an outlet mall back home, and we were just, and it's a pet-friendly area. It's kind of out in the open, so they've got like a poop bag dispenser. So I was expecting some dogs. So we're just kind of walking, and I see one dog like barking. I was like, okay, no big deal. It's a dog. Just keep walking. And then the next one we see, I think it was like a Doberman, and it's got a vest on, and it's like barking aggressively. It's like trying to pull its owner away from them towards us. So it was definitely a little scary in the beginning, and Heston's very alert. He likes to hear things. He likes to stare at things. He's investigative, so he was kind of zoned in. And then like a little bit later, we passed him again. There was another bark. And then we passed him a third time, and it stopped. So I think it could have been maybe it was a fake service dog. Maybe they were just having an off day. But that was definitely one that kept me on my toes because I wasn't expecting it. I was like, oh, there's a vest. It should be fine. So it's definitely just something that we always have to be alert, and then education is just a big, strong part of what we have to do.
Right. So, and thanks for that information, because we do hear a lot of that about the fake service dogs, and you do worry about, like you said, somebody charging the dog and the dog getting hurt for no reason. And also, it goes back to, it hurts the people that do have a disability, that do need the dog, and these other people just think that they can get away with it. It's not right. But to move back into the club, how many people are usually in the club? And talk about the activities that you do inside the club, and who makes up those activities.
So it ranges. I think we have about 140-ish somewhat active members. And then meetings-wise, it's probably about 50 to 70 that show up every meeting. And then the club's just based around, our topics are kind of just based around CCI, about disability etiquette, about kind of what our puppies do, trying to get them involved with some of our training activities. And then we have some main fundraisers. So we have our annual Step Into Yoga event that's coming up in 2 weeks. So that's a big one. Just everyone likes puppies, everyone likes yoga.
On
so
the 13th,
right?
right?
Combine them all together. We'll do partial proceeds, and we try to, most of our funds that we raise throughout our activities, we like to give back to CCI.
Right, of course. So to move on to that, with the puppy sitting, and I know you're going to you talk about that if you could, and with puppy sitting, how is it conducted? How is it taught? And do you have also people, like a lot of people that are in the club, do they really, want to be puppy raisers? I know you said there's 13 dogs on camp. Is there a lot of kind of more demand than maybe since you started?
Oh, yes. There's a lot more demand. I think a lot of people just see the puppies and they're just instantly drawn to the club, and then they learn a little bit more, and they're like, okay, I know it's not going to be my dog, but I really want to somehow get involved and do something. So that's why we offer the puppy sitting aspect. So it's like they can help us train the dogs in a way without having that full-on responsibility of the financial. And then so our training circles is kind of how they get certified to be a puppy sitter. So we go over some of the basic commands that we know they'll have to kind of work on if they're watching our puppy, kind of teach them the basic foundations of how to walk with the dog, make sure they're hydrated, make sure they go to the bathroom, just kind of basics. And then we do a commands test. So they take a test that just makes sure they know all the commands that our dogs know. And then they do a handling evaluation part, which is basically just to make sure that the dog's comfortable, they're comfortable, they know what they're doing, and they have some sort of idea. They don't have to be 100% like amazing. It's more of that they know what they're doing in a way, and we can help them progress.
All right, so moving on with that, how many dogs have went through the program so far?
2 have graduated.
2 have graduated, and 2 have been released.
Okay. And the dogs that have released, I know, I remember in the first meeting that one's around here? Or?
Rexel.
Yeah, Rexel.
Correct?
So
Yeah,
he was
okay.
released for medical. He had allergies that were just too much to handle. So he's like 30 minutes away from here with someone that adopted him.
Yeah, that's not too bad. And didn't the president of UCF adopt 2 CCI dogs?
The past president, Dr. Bear, had 2 of them.
Okay. So let's move on. So how many puppy raisers do you have at CCI? At UCF, it's 13, correct, right now?
14.
14, okay. And also, how would you want to, how do you like kind of get people involved? Is it just like mainly advertisement on Facebook, or do you guys kind of, is it just word of mouth, or people just see a beautiful puppy and they say, hey,
That's definitely a big
what's the
part.
story with this? Is it, so it's mostly the...
I feel like it's definitely a combination of all 3. So most people see the dogs and they're like, what is this? I need to get involved. So we kind of hand them a flyer. Social media, we have a huge presence on there. Pretty much all of our puppies have their own Instagram accounts. So they're constantly gaining followers on there and attention. And then we do a lot of tabling. So UCF offers different like tables. We just did one for like an RSO tabling. So we got more interest from there. So it's kind of just, our presence is kind of everywhere on campus. So if people don't know about us, I'm surprised a little bit. But they see the cape and they're like, oh, I need to go.
And like a difference from my freshman year to now, like you can tell people are like, oh, are you part of that club on campus that does the training with the dogs? Like they might not know what we are, but they've at least heard of us, and it's kind of cool to see that presence grow.
So last question, Kayla, what's going to happen when you graduate? who's going to take over the clubs? Is that Sarah's? Or
it's up to the members.
Is there a
Yeah,
vote?
there's a club member vote.
All right, there's a vote. So everybody has to get voted in to the position, and now is that at the end of the year or?
So it's about we do the elections, I think it's the beginning of April. So that's to allow the good transition. So we're all able to pass responsibilities over. And then the official last meeting is the new officers' kind of first meeting as like, this is what they want to see the club evolve into and things like that.
So as I said the last question, but this is the for real last question. So as being president, what have you seen grow? And also as being a person that's leaving and maybe coming back to UCF to visit, what would you expect the club to become?
I've definitely seen a growing passion in all of the members, seeing from the very beginning where we had maybe 20 people show up. There's a definite increase in the amount of people showing up. So it's a great feeling to know that people actually care about the mission and about providing these dogs to people who actually need them. So that's definitely the biggest thing I've seen. And if I come back, or when I come back, not if, I will be back.
Okay.
When I come back, I'm expecting more cute puppies because all of my friends are going to get new ones. So I'm expecting all those. I'm expecting probably a bigger increase because there's going to be more puppies. So there's going to be more people.
And UCF keeps growing. So.
Yes, UCF keeps growing. So we're going to keep growing with it. And then I just think there's going to be a stronger presence of our puppies. And then I'm hoping that there'll be a stronger presence about the decrease in fake service dogs here on campus.
Oh, wow, I didn't know that. So there's...
Yes.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that. So you learn something every day. So, Sarah, any last words?
I think she kind of said it all.
All
I'm also hoping that we continue to grow, and I think that we're on the right track for that.
And you'll be back next year in the club, so
Yeah.
maybe leading the charge. Who knows?
Who knows?
All right. Anyway, how can more people learn about you guys on? I know you said Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, whatever it may be.
All of
Everything.
them.
On Wick, the website
Wix,
there,
yeah.
Wick. So can you just kind of? I know we're not going to give out every dog's Instagram,
There's too many.
but kind of like just give out the Step Instagram and maybe the Facebook website. I don't know.
So
Name.
the Facebook is just Step at UCF. Our website's linked on there. I want to say all of our social media wise is also linked on there. Okay. So that's kind of the big go-to. And then our website is just I think it's like wix.step. UCF.com/step.
If you find one social media, you can
Yeah,
find
we,
it.
Yeah,
we forgive
they're all
you. We
linked
forgive
together.
you. All right, but thank you guys for that, and thanks for. And we have a friend that just got almost up off the floor,
Sit. She is sleeping.
and we might even see her a little bit in the screen. She just looked at the screen.
Kitty? Oh, there you go.
Oh, good girl.
She came in.
So Navi came in the screen. So welcome, Navi. I'm sorry I don't have any food. I know you're looking for kibbles.
Yep.
But anyways, guys, thanks so much for the interview. It was fun, and I appreciate it. Navi, you're great. Thank you so much. I know you're looking for food. And all right, thanks so much for listening to Conversations with Rob. Kayla, Sarah, thanks.
Thank you.
All right.